Shirota is your typical MC loser. He was bad at sports and studies, and he has zero friends. Meanwhile, Takamine is a prodigy. She's number one in both academics and sports. The only thing the two had in common was that they went to the same elementary and middle school, and now they are in the same high school. During lunch, Shirota sneaked into the gym storage to kill time, when suddenly someone opens the door. It was Takamine. Shirota wonders what she's doing when suddenly she starts undressing herself. Upon seeing this, Shirota quickly turns away, fighting all the voices in his head to not peep at her while she's changing. But in the end, Shirota lost to the temptations and took a quick glance at her, seeing her huge personalities. Shirota was surprised that she had no bra on. Did she forget? He thought. But he believed that Takamine wouldn't make that kind of mistake. When they went back to class, the teacher was handing their test paper back. Shirota got a 52, although it's really low. He was really happy that at least he passed. He just like me, for real, for real. Takamine got a 98. This startled the whole class because she's gotten nothing but perfect score ever since her entrance exam. Takamine asks if there's been a mistake in the grading, to which the teacher replied that there was no mistake. She then stands up, revealing 2 giant planets as she removes her underwear. Then there's a flash. The teacher is now calling Shirota to come grab his test again. He was confused because he remembered that he had already grabbed it a few minutes ago. He thought it was a dream since getting 52 was too high for him, but to his surprise, he wasn't dreaming. Then the teacher announces that Takamine got another perfect score. Shirota was left with confusion. He had so many questions, so he decides to approach her and ask her about what just happened. Shirota said he saw that she got a 98 on her test earlier. Takamine's face went dark and asked if he had told anyone about it. Shirota nervously said no. Takamine said how careless she was to not notice that he saw it. Shirota said he didn't see it, but the teacher said it. Takamine pins him against the wall and said she's not talking about the test. She told Shirota to take a seat and hands him a cup of water. Shirota spills the water. As he went down to clean it, Takamine unbuttons her shirt. Then there's that flash again. This time the water spilled all over Takamine. Shirota quickly wipes the soaked Takamine. Takamine asks if he noticed anything aside from her being wet. Shirota is confused. She then takes his hand and brings it onto one of her personalities. She says he can tell by touching it, right? Shirota was sidetracked and just thought that they were soft. Takamine then hit him with the Denji classic. She then tells him that her bra was gone. She explains that this was her power, called the Eternal Virgin Road. When she takes off her underwear, she can undo something she's done. But whenever she uses her power, her clothing disappears. But for those who have seen her bare melons, they will still retain their memory of what happened. Shirota asked, why does she have this kind of power? She said it all started in 5th grade. The school had a team relay race, and she was supposed to come in first, but due to her stomach hurting, she came in second. She was so humiliated by this that she wetted herself, so she had to change her underwear. And the next thing you know, she was holding the #1 flag. She believed that this power was granted to her, so she could always be #1. Takamine then asked Shirota to become her personal closet. She wants him to follow her around carrying her underwear since every time she uses her power, they disappear. Shirota refuses because that would just make him her slave. If that was me, I would agree so fast. Takamine tries to convince him by saying that a nobody like you getting to be my closet should be an honor. Shirota tries to leave, but Takamine stops him and he trips, falling into her. Takamine tries to seduce him into agreeing with her proposal. Shirota was starting to rethink his answer, but then Takamine lets out a loud scream. Many students rushed into her room seeing Shirota on top of Takamine. She then plays the victim card and says that Shirota was trying to do some nasty things. The other students were calling the cops on him, so Shirota didn't have a choice but to agree to her proposal. Takamine then undo her actions using her power. Shirota was now her personal closet. The following day, Takamine greets Shirota and told him to come meet her at the student council room. Takamine hands Shirota a bag with her underwears in them. She said to him that he needs to carry this bag around all the time since he's now her closet. She then told him that every time she uses her power, he would have to put a new underwear on her right away, even if they were in class. Shirota was shocked because this was an impossible task. But Takamine threatens him, saying that she would not save him from that situation if Shirota didn't comply with her commands. Takamine then tries to seduce Shirota, saying he is the only one she can trust with this. But Shirota caught on with her, knowing that she's only saying this so he would feel special, which will lead him into doing anything for her. They're now back in class, and the teacher called on Takamine to read a passage to the whole class. She did a perfect job, but it wasn't her best, so she uses her power and tries again. Takamine tries again, and this time it was even better than the first time. Shirota thought so too, but if she's going to use her power over something so little, just how many times is she going to use her power in a day? Takamine then mouths to Shirota about his duty. Shirota couldn't find an opportunity to do so. He thought he'll just wait till break time. But Takamine didn't allow this. She does actions that brought her skirt up even higher, so that Shirota would come to do his duty. She then drops an eraser for Shirota to come pick it up and put the underwear on her. And apparently, Shirota also has the power to go invisible, because how on earth did no one see him doing this? Class was finally over. Shirota lets out a sigh of relief, and he turns to see if Takamine was satisfied. To his shock, he realized that he only put her underwear up halfway, and the teacher calls Takamine to pick up her worksheet. Shirota interrupts her and walks up to grab her work and hands it to her. As Shirota was about to walk away, Takamine signals to him that he still hasn't completed his job. Shirota, scared that people will notice him, uses his leg to push her underwear up. The teacher then calls his name to go pick up his worksheet. This startled Shirota, causing him to push his leg up a bit too far, and Takamine lets out a little noise. Shirota asked, "What was that?" But Takamine just blushes. Back in the student council room, Shirota told Takamine that what she did there was beyond reckless. She agreed, but she said that she was just testing him. She then gets real close and personal and asked, why did Shirota still save her? Takamine then teases him, saying, "Could it be that you didn't want others to see my underwear?" Shirota blushed and changed the topic. He asked her about what she said during class. Takamine gets shy and said she didn't say anything. Class ends and the teacher assigned Takamine to collect all the worksheets and take them to the prep room. Other students offered to help her carry the worksheets, to which she denies and uses her power. This time she signals Shirota to come help her. Takamine is disappointed in Shirota since she had to waste her clothing to teach Shirota a lesson. The lesson was that since he is her closet, he needs to be by her side at all times to assist her. As Takamine was heading to the prep room, a bunch of students stops her and initiate a conversation. Shirota asked her if it was a pain to have all those guys on top of you all at once. Takamine replied saying that it was something to be proud of since everyone wants to talk to her, and that it wasn't a pain in the slightest. Shirota was surprised by her answer. She also told him that she remembers the names, faces, and mental profiles of everyone in school. Shirota was surprised and asked if she knew anything about him since he was such a non-existent student. Takamine then starts dropping Shirota's IP address and everything she knew about him. Then she also added an extra one, calling him a closet pervert. Takamine says she knows that Shirota is fascinated by her curves, but in public, Shirota wouldn't even look her way. Shirota tries to come up with excuses, but she just kicks him down the stairs. Takamine gets in front of Shirota and asked, "What if I said you can take a look at my body if you wanted to?" Takamine gets on top of Shirota and asked, "What if I said I want you to look at me?" Shirota panics and told her to stop teasing him. "How will you feel about this?" Takamine asked as her melons press against him. Takamine cuteness was overloading Shirota's brain, but finally he got his thoughts together and told her that he wouldn't want to look at her curves unless they were dating. Takamine laughs, then said, "Does that mean you think you have a chance to date me?" Shirota flustered and quickly denies what he just said. Takamine said don't need to deny it because to her it wasn't a bad answer. Shirota was confused and asked her what does that mean, but before he could finish his question, Shirota slips down the stairs. Shirota woke up with his head resting on Takamine's thighs. Shirota quickly got up and asked what happened and where is he. Takamine explained to him that he fell down the stairs and his injury was pretty bad, so she used her power so that he never tripped, but he was still out cold, so she brought him to the nurse office. Takamine then told him that he has to rest a little longer and buried his head down to her heavenly spot. I wish that was me. Her thoughts about Shirota have also changed since he turned down her advances. She sees him as a sexually frustrated virgin posing as a gentleman, or a person who's too sweet and sensible for his own good. As Shirota still had his head on Takamine's thighs, she reminded him that she used her power so right now she isn't wearing anything underneath, so don't bury your head so deep in there.